Hello guys, it's again story time and we'll read Gracie's short story Orotha and the Spirits prescribed in the text in the shade of Sahyadri. Gracie is one of the Malayalam writers who won the Kerala Sahitya Academy Award. Her short stories have been translated into several languages including English, Hindi, Tamil and Oriya. Her collections include Padirangiya Parvati, Brandan Pookal, Naragavadil, Randu Swapnadarshigal, Kaveriyude Katha, Graceyude Kathagal, Elu Pen Kathagal and so on. There is a strong feminist streak running through most of her stories. It is the uniqueness of women's lived experience that forms the core of her fiction. The protagonist in her stories, the woman in her stories, is not just a stereotype, but is one endowed with indefinable qualities. Such a woman is represented in Orotha and the Spirits. And that is why we get the feeling that we are entering a magical world when we read her fiction. Her language, imagery, narrative style all corroborate this feeling. There are other stories as well where women are terrorized and persecuted in public spaces. But in most of the stories we find a strong, bold woman who is ready to question anything and everything. Orotha and the Spirits or Orodeyum Peredangalum is a story that provides a hint of the magical atmosphere that pervades Gracie's fiction. It is indicative of her interest in ghosts and spirits. These ghosts represented in her short stories are more human than human beings themselves. Ghosts in Gracie's stories are not supernatural creatures who are scary or eerie, but are normal beings with whom her characters interact in the most natural way, as if they are talking to a human being. The ghosts here are subject to the same emotions as humans are. They are controlled by the sentiments of fear, love, greed, hatred, sadness and so on. We get to know of a set of ghosts whose life on this planet Earth was pathetic. I want all of you to turn to page 96, Gracie's Orotha and the Spirits. As Orotha lit the coconut front porch and stepped out into the yard, Pennamma Chetati asked once again, "Do you have to go tonight, Orotha? You don't have little ones to burden you at home, do you? Can't you just lie down somewhere here?" Moonlight dawned silver on Orotha's lips as she stepped into the darkness. "My man is afraid to sleep alone, and then I'm soaked in sweat. Can't sleep if I don't wash and change this chata and munda." So this is how we are introduced to the story. We get to know of the three main characters in this. One is of course Orotha, and then we come to know of Pennamma Chetati and Orotha's husband. So right from the beginning we understand that Orotha doesn't have any children and she has a very good relationship with her husband, and he will be waiting for Orotha to return. Usually finishing my work I am off home before dusk, but today as I was about to leave, her daughter and son-in-law from Kochi came in. Then I had to catch a chicken that had got into the coop and make curry out of it. I still have two of those pieces which Pennamma Chetati gave me. Oh, my man's craving for meat. I cannot help exclaiming, "At this rate you will gobble me up too." And it's nice to hear him say with a smile like a flash of torchlight, "Wasn't it for your flesh that I married you?" And then a sly look at my breast, not sagging even now, he adds with a wink, "It is then that this Orotha's heart turns heavy. It's because I am not fated to give birth and raise children." And a sigh would escape her. That's the moment when my man starts spouting his philosophy. "What is the point in having children, oh Orotha? The only benefit is that you win the right to slave away for them all your life. When they are ready to fly, they will live. That's all. Right now, what do we lack? We work hard, we live well. When this becomes utterly impossible, we can't even live together. So, from this, we get to know about the warm relationship that Orotha maintains with her husband, even though they don't have any children. So, when she is sad and heavy in her heart, her husband comforts her, says, and he has his own philosophy about having children and about not having children. Children, anyways, one day or the other, they will fly away, leave you. So what's the point, And that's how he comforts his wife. Oh, sounds as if all that is in our hands. Orotha will pout. I have found a way for all that, woman. I am scared of lying alone under the soil without you. So this is the second time we come to know that his husband is attached to Orotha in a very special manner, or in a very extraordinary manner, you can say. He can't imagine a life without Orotha. Recollecting this, Orotha giggled, and this makes her happy too. From behind them, someone took up Orotha's giggle. Flaring the torch with no backward glance, Orotha rebuked. Get lost, you spirit. Don't play with me. I have heard the tale of how you played pranks on my mother-in-law on a night like this long ago. Don't forget, this is Orotha. So now we get to know more of this bold and courageous lady, Orotha. She is not scared of this ghost coming and trying to play some pranks with her. And she says, and I'm not like my mother-in-law who was scared to death by the ghost. With an ear-shattering roar, the wind gushed past Orotha. Orotha's house was just across the cashew grove. Many had hanged themselves in this grove. The owners being far away, it lay open without a fence or even a stick for a boundary. Anyone could come and hang himself there. Swinging the torch vigorously, Orotha entered the cashew grove. The wind that had gushed in before Orotha furiously shook the cashew tree on which the blacksmith Itaman had hanged himself, looked at Orotha and sneered. Even before the laughter had died down, Itaman called from the tip of the cashew branches, Hey Orotha, give Itaman too a piece of meat and then go. Orotha's spirit rallied. Oh, you accursed fellow, your woman gave all that she cooked to the other fellow because of your ineptness. Who else but you would have hanged himself because she ran away with that fellow? Itaman fell silent on the branches of the cashew tree. Then, leaving Itaman's cashew tree behind, the wind galloped ahead of Orotha and awoke fortune teller Shanda's Pratham. So this is our first ghost, that is Itaman's ghost, the blacksmith Itaman's ghost. So he has committed suicide. We get to know from Orotha why he committed suicide. He was left by his wife. She ran with another fellow and this man committed suicide. So we find Orotha questioning or chiding all these ghosts for the folly that they have committed when they were alive. And she reminds them that they were foolish to commit suicide. They should have been brave enough to stand up for themselves instead of committing suicide. So next is Shanta's Pratham. Orotha Chetatiye, aren't I with child after all? Give me a piece of meat and then carry on. So now we find a very sad scene of a pregnant ghost. Orotha said with compassion, My Shanta Koche, couldn't you have lured someone else? Isn't an uncle's son your own flesh and blood, my child? The pregnant ghost swung from a low branch of the cashew tree, holding on to some memory of a forbidden taste. So this Shanta had a forbidden relationship with her uncle's son, and she got pregnant, and finally she committed suicide when people found out. So again we find Orotha with compassion chiding this young woman, Shanta. The wind again rushed forth in an attempt to scare Orotha. Shaking one hand at Orotha, the wind whispered something. Before Orotha could ask anything, Orotha said. So again we find bold Orotha addressing the ghost even before the spirit talking to her. You are a clever fellow, Orotha. Didn't you, with your one hand, carry of 20 sacks of pepper stored in the Valyavida attic that night? But it was utter folly on your part to have gone and hanged yourself when they found out and filed a case against you. The one-handed ghost fell silent. Realizing his folly, he lay back staring at the sky. So this is another ghost of Orotha, a handicapped person, and he committed suicide even though he was very courageous and bold enough to steal 20 sacks of pepper from the attic with one single hand. When they found out and filed a case against him, he couldn't stand. He just committed suicide. Seeing the wind attempting to climb yet another tree, Orotha said, "Don't bother to scare me again, you ghost. Here I have reached my house. Why don't you go straight to hell?" So this is how Orotha reacts to the spirits. She's not bothered. She's not scared. On hearing Orotha's footsteps in the yard of the house, a question quivered at the tip of her husband's tongue. "Who is it?" Orotha bent down to put out the torch. Wiping her face and neck with the edge of her munda, she straightened up. "Hey, it's me, my man. Open the door." So this is how the story comes to an end. So we find Orotha, who is bold and courageous, but at the same time the man of the household, who is frightened to be alone, who is frightened of the spirits, frightened of certain things of the world. So in Orotha, Gracie is trying to portray a person who is ready to question certain things. Though she is chiding and rebuking and questioning these spirits, what she actually questions is that the things that made these people commit suicide, things that were prevalent in the society that made these poor people commit suicide. I want all of you to read the story once or twice before going into the analysis of this short story. Thank you.